In the world of finance, there's this story we hear over and over again. A company spends an absolute fortune on some shiny new software, and it just makes everything worse. It's like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. So today, we're going to talk about a much better way. How you can become an architect of your financial operations, not just a buyer of tools. I mean, really, think about it. You've probably seen this happen. A company rolls out a brand new ERP system or some fancy AI platform, and they promise it's going to revolutionize everything. But 6 months later, it's the same old story. The processes are still a mess, the data is all over the place, and everyone is just burned out. So why? Why do these super expensive tools so often make the chaos even louder? Well, here's the core of the problem. You just can't use software to fix a broken foundation. When you take all your messy, inconsistent, chaotic manual processes and just automate them, all you're really doing is digitizing the disorganization. And the result? Your teams end up doing the wrong things, except now they're doing them at lightning speed. So what's the actual solution? It really requires a total shift in how you think about this. The goal isn't to sell or buy software. The goal is to build structure. For any high-performing finance team, this is the secret sauce. You have to create a solid operational framework before you even start shopping for tools. Let's dig into what that actually looks like. This is what we call the architect's mindset. I mean, you wouldn't build a house by just buying a bunch of expensive power tools and hoping for the best, right? Of course not. You'd start with a detailed blueprint. The exact same logic applies here. It's all about design before construction, planning before you execute. And here you can see the two approaches side by side. On one hand, you have the software-first way. It's all about the tool. You're just hoping for a magic fix, but what you usually get is automated chaos. But on the other hand, the structure-first approach focuses on the process. You're designing a reliable system from the get-go, building a real foundation for order. Okay, so what exactly goes into this financial blueprint? This whole idea of structure isn't just some abstract concept. It's a set of real, concrete components that are designed to create a system that is predictable, transparent, and totally reliable. At its core, operational structure is basically a framework. It's made up of your processes, your roles, and how you govern your data. And the end goals here are predictability and transparency. You want to build a system where you know what to expect and you can see exactly what's happening every step of the way. And building the structure really comes down to 4 essential pillars. First, you have to standardize. That means creating clear, repeatable workflows for things like invoicing or reporting. Second, you define roles. Everybody on the team needs to know exactly what they're responsible for. That gets rid of bottlenecks. Third, you govern your data. Your data has to be accurate and consistent, otherwise it's useless. And finally, you document everything. You have to get that knowledge out of people's heads and turn it into a company asset that helps you scale. So once you have that blueprint, that solid foundation, now it's time to bring in the power tools. This is the moment where software stops being a frustrating problem and starts becoming an incredible asset. It's finally being used to make a great system even better, not to put a Band-Aid on a broken one. Just so we're crystal clear on the before picture, without that structure, you have inconsistent processes that lead to this tangled mess of errors, wasted time, and data you can't trust. That's that state of constant low-level chaos that just grinds everything to a halt. And this, right here, is the critical danger of putting software first. When you apply automation to that chaotic environment, you are not fixing it. You are pouring gasoline on the fire. You just end up amplifying the chaos, making it bigger, faster, and spreading it everywhere. But what happens when we apply that same technology to a system that's well-designed and solid? Well, everything changes. Technology stops being a liability and it becomes a powerful amplifier. It finally delivers on all those promises of efficiency and insight. With a solid structure in place, your tech becomes a true force multiplier. Suddenly, you can automate repetitive tasks with real precision. You can generate real-time insights from data that you actually trust. You can use AI on clean, organized information to find trends. And maybe most importantly, you can scale up your entire operation without watching all your processes crumble under the pressure. And that brings us to the finished product, the ultimate payoff. Because having a strong operational foundation isn't just about making life easier for the finance team. No, it delivers huge strategic value to the entire organization. The strategic payoff is so clear, and you can see it across all the key areas of the business. You get this massive boost in operational efficiency, less time wasted, fewer errors. The quality of your decisions improves dramatically because leaders are finally working with reliable data. And the whole company just becomes more scalable, ready for growth without all the usual growing pains. Let's just quickly break down what this actually feels like. You get faster, more accurate financial reporting. That means month-end close is no longer a nightmare. Your leadership can make confident, strategic decisions. And your teams? They're finally empowered to focus on high-value work instead of just putting out fires all day, which, produces stress and friction for everyone. So if you take one thing away from this, it should be this. Structure, not technology, is the true foundation. It's the bedrock that everything else is built on. Technology is the amazing tool you get to build with, but only after that foundation is set in stone. So that leaves us with one final question for you to think about in your own organization. Are you just buying new hammers? Are you constantly chasing the next shiny tool, hoping it's going to be the one that fixes everything? Or are you taking the time to be an architect, thoughtfully designing a financial masterpiece that's actually built to last?